This is Kyle Hunter and Elijah Fleming with Don't Mean Nothin. We're back with Chris Rangel, talking about where we left off. You're 18 years old, just got back from your first deployment.
Yep.
So we'll pick up from there. I know you had 30 days of leave, and then you're going back to where?
We're going right back to 29 Palms. I was out there for the entirety of my first 4 years. It was kind of like a running joke. I spent, I'd say, about 20 to 30 months. Like, I'd have to do the math, whatever it was, in Iraq, as opposed to being in 29 Palms. I spent more time in Iraq than I did in 29 Palms for my first 4 years between the 3 deployments. And it was always like, you're coming back to, we're going to, what do you say, decompress? Nah, I'm just working up for the next deployment. I was on the 30 days leave, and there was an indoor place in Oklahoma City for paintball, and they did reballs. And I went home, and I just started showing up, and every day I showed up. They were open like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I think they were closed Fridays, and they were open Saturday, Sunday. And so I was there every day, like open to close. And I'd help the new kids, and then it got to the point where I was like kind of like helping in the back. And then the owner's like, "Hey, dude, like, are you looking for a job or something?" I was like, "No, I'm in the Marine Corps." I was growing out my beard because I wasn't shaving because I'm being a piece of shit because I'm on block leave, for 30 days. And I would just wake up, go play paintball, fuck my girl, go play paintball, and that was it. And then when she got off work, we would mess around, and that was it. And then I went back to 29 Palms, and then we spun back up and we headed right back over. And I want to say that was like maybe 6 to 7 months.
Such a fast turn.
Yeah, and again, like I was saying the other day, it's like this was normal. I didn't know any better. We spun.
What was your train up like before that?
Lots of, like, being in heavy guns platoon was different than being in a line company. Lots of gun drills. We did, since 29 Palms is, being 29 Palms, it's the premier place to train. You get the best training facilities, and granted, it's the fucking desert. But, we had access to range 400. We had range to all the ranges at any given point. So we could go out and do vehicle maneuvers. We could go out and do machine gun hill. We could go out and do anything we wanted to. And there was never there was no you can't go do this. And granted, I had no say in any of this. I was still a PFC up until my later part of my second deployment. So it's like, whatever. We're going to hump out 10 clicks, and we're going to employ the 50 cals. We're going to shoot, and then we're going to click. We're going to pack it all up, and we're going to come home, go to the armory, and then tomorrow we're going to run a fucking PFT, and then we're going to fucking hike out, and we're going to do it all over again. And that was normal. We would just do gun drills constantly, do cat maneuvers with the anti-tank guys, because we were all split, so it's heavy guns platoon, anti-armor platoon, and then we'd get back together, we'd go do vehicle drills, we'd go do all our things, and then we were always doing something. Like, every week it was something, so it wasn't like anything that was like downtime, besides, like, you get down maybe to the Friday, and you might get early off, and that early being fucking like 7 o'clock. Some nights, like, oh, we're going to get off at 1600, but, you never did because you're at the armory cleaning fucking crew serves. So, and that was normal. Like, just like learning the 50 cal in and out, learning the Mark 19. We really didn't do a lot of medium machine guns or light machine guns with the saw, besides, if that was your issued equipment. But it was all 50s and Mark 19s, and just, being really proficient with that. Doing cross training with the jabs or the 81 millimeter guys, and just mixing and matching and trying to just be better at the overall combined arms aspect. So and the whole time Afghan's going on still, Iraq is still going on, and you're always hearing stuff like, hey, we're going to do combat replacements, we're gonna start sending guys over. There's talk about, hey, we're going to accelerate the deployment. Be ready to go, blah blah. And again, I'm turning 19 soon. I don't fucking know. Like, I got no say. I wake up in the morning, get told what to do. You know, we're doing this. Cool. We're doing this. We're, you know, go fucking chow. All right, go to chow. All right, you're off. All right. I'm playing fucking video games, you know? So, you know, my life is fucking cookie cutter and I don't know.
What was the state of the conflict in Iraq at that point?
So going from a traditional war was where it was at, and then it was turning into the IED con ops. And, you know, they were starting to, you know, take 155 shells, 120 shells, 81 millimeters mortars, 82 millimeters, I think was what the Russians were using. So there's all this ordnance all over the country and finding new and creative ways to kill us. And this, if you take a step back, this is, you know, out of a playbook from the Vietnam era with the Viet Cong. And one of the lessons learned from there, you know, carried forward, you know, several generations later, that's what they started to do. So, you know, we're all mobile in Humvees and AAVs and whatnot. And so now, you know, we're at the time, I believe, going to rip with 3.7. And, you know, we're coming in like, hey guys, you know, we're not doing kinetic stuff. Like they'll shoot at you, you won't see them, and then they're gone. You know, doing a lot of guerrilla operations, doing a lot of hit moves, doing, you know, there's no more kinetic. You know, it's not, I can see who's shooting at me. That's very gone. Or I don't know, that's not the best way to say it. Things like that. And so, like, the TTPs are coming out, the training tactics procedures are coming, you know, from Afghanistan and Iraq. And granted, Afghanistan's a whole different cat. In the aspect of like what's going on in that theater as opposed to going back to Iraq. And for us in 1.7, we really never discussed Afghanistan at all. I don't think it ever got brought up besides like, hey, we might have volunteer space for combat replacements. And I never like put my hat or my hand up for combat replacements for Afghanistan, but it got discussed, but I don't think it was ever like a serious thing. And so when we were getting ready to go back over, you know, kind of already like, okay, I know the chain of events. I'm gonna see my girl for the last time. We're gonna do the whole little, you know, cry fest. I'm gonna get on the bus. I'm gonna go to the airport. I'm gonna sit at March Air Force Base. I'm gonna sweat my ass off in this big ass fucking hangar. I'm gonna get on this jet, get yelled at about my bayonet, but I can have a rifle on this plane, you know, and I'm gonna end up in Kuwait again. And it's gonna be super hot, and then I'm gonna go to the desert. And you know, so I kind of knew the processes of going into it, but definitely my second deployment was nothing like my first deployment.
Where were you at the second?
So we dropped into Kuwait. We pushed up from Kuwait City is where we dropped into, and this is fucking like 20 plus years ago. So I'd have to definitely look at a map to say exactly where we're at. You know, I want to say we flew into Kuwaiti City, and it was late. I know it was very dark when we dropped in, and as soon as we got out of the buses, it was like getting smacked in the face with a heavy cheesecloth of humidity and heat, like full blast blowtorch cheesecloth to the face. And I was like, fuck, I don't miss this at all. But it was like, welcome back to the desert. And I remember my rifle instantly rusted from the humidity of Kuwait desert when we got to the clamshells. Because we were the clamshells they had kind of set up for us. So
What's a clamshell?
Clamshell is like this weird military building. Ours had like this Hasco walls, and then they had like this tent top, really crude living quarters for the military. And they just line and line of bunk beds. And this is like early 2004, because the push was in 2003. We're there for 10 months. Come back. I want to say we were home for maybe 7-8 months, and then we were right back over in the beginning of 2004, and we were there for a couple days, just getting everybody in on the flights, and then we all loaded up into the trucks. We got our actual trucks while we were in Kuwait, and then we pushed north through the same place that we were just at 10 months ago, all the way to Al-Qaim, and that was our AO for the next 10 months. And we were outside of Al-Qaim proper, so it was Route Bronze, and then south of that there was a old industrial complex, which was a railroad station, or a kind of industrial railroad hub, essentially. And that's where I want to say the Army was prior to us, but I'd have to look back on the timeline. And again, I'm a boot, so I don't fucking know. Nobody's told. And again, I had terrible fucking NCO, so we didn't get told anything. It was, what is this? Shut the fuck up, boot. That was literally the most interaction that we'd have, until it was something like, hey, we're gonna go do a mission, and we all are, all of us are gonna die. So there was really no understanding of like our area of operations, why we're here, why do we pick this place, those type of things, because again, I'm just a dumb boot.
So you really didn't have like a positive leader at all during that time frame?
So Corporal Chris Walensky was probably the most positive influence. He was a machine gunner. And then Corporal Burkham, both of them popped on drugs. Chris Walensky popped on marijuana, and then Burkham, I'm probably fucking his name up, he popped on E. And so Chris Walensky is like, I did it. I went home and fucking got high, man. I was, dealing with deployment, and the wife and kids, and I smoked fucking pot, and he got fucking rung up, got busted down to Lance Corporal. And since we're going back, they're like, well, we'll fucking keep you. And then Burkham, I don't know if this is true or not, but he's like, someone slipped it in my fucking drink. And the longer that I was around this man, he did the EDM thing before it was EDM. So it only makes sense this dude was fucking doing E or Molly or whatever the fuck it was at the time. And then popped hot. And then tried to be like, no, And so he got fucking busted down, if I remember right.
It's like 2 days of being in your system too. So
yeah,
it's like, it's like a pretty quick turn.
So yeah, so both of them were like the most positive influences I had. Everybody else they're just fucking pieces of shit. And again, like it just, it's not. And combat is one of those things like, I can respect, hey, I don't know the fucking ins and outs. And I would attest this to like the World War II veterans, where the guy who didn't die on the last landing craft push is the most seasoned dude. But I would expect him to be like, hey, dude, I don't fucking have all the answers, but here's some fucking quick tips and tricks not to fucking die. I didn't get any of that. You're a boot because you didn't go to fucking 9494. You didn't ride the fucking stupid ass buffing machine. I never felt like, and I didn't, it's not like I tried to hang out with our NCOs. I just never felt any inclination of like give a fuck factor, because I wasn't trying to like suck their dick or be part of the cool kids. We did get more boots in, Sowers and a couple other dudes, and they were older, like definitely older than all of us. And those guys kind of gravitated because the NCOs were older and they were older, and they had come in because the build up, they were at war, and so we got all these new guys in. And O'Connor and like Sowers, like they were in like their mid or early 30s, so like most of the NCOs are mid to late 20s or whatever. So those kind of, they kind of gravitated toward those guys and like, oh, they're cool. It's like, oh, I don't really give a fuck about cool. I don't want to get my fucking head blown off. And as like in the last one, I was like, the whole fucking time, I was like, I hope a fucking T-62 hits your fucking goddamn truck. I want to see your fucking truck explode. I'm a piece of shit because I lost my fucking barrel. No, I just didn't take it on patrol because I didn't fucking need it. But you want to fucking haze me. But I watch you go fucking do some stupid shit without your fucking rifle. But I'm the fucked up, kid.
Hey, you'd think that builds so much animosity
within,
what's supposed to be a cohesive unit.
Yeah, and it's like, it's crazy because like you hear stories about like that in Vietnam, like the LT go out or the sergeant went out and fucking didn't come back, and it's like, well, I could actually see that fucking happening because I was that fucking 18, 19-year-old kid. I'm like, I could just fucking shoot the dude in the fucking head right now, and I don't know, maybe I get away with it. Fuck, I don't know. But I remember like being on patrol and we're all in the fucking stick, and I'm like, maybe there is a T-62 fucking off, and it just boom, fucking furies, that fucking scene when they're all fucking pushing and fucking boom. Yeah, I honestly wished for it. I wish for fucking multiple times to watch their trucks just fucking blow the fuck up.
How do those guys get into those positions in the first place? They have to be selected for that, right?
No, I don't believe so. Like, to me, they were just there. Like, they were just there because it's just like, any rifle platoon or, fucking section. It's just guys are there. And then this happens, and that's all you got. You don't got anybody else. You got this. And so, the leadership was like the guy that was in charge. He had just been there the longest. Doesn't make you're, an efficient leader. Doesn't mean you know more than anybody else. I know plenty of people who've been in fucking positions, but they're fucking dog shit. Yeah, I've been around the block, but I'll be the first to tell you, like, no, I don't know everything. And, there's a saying that I always try to tell myself is be a student. And I don't know, it's a Japanese samurai, he was invented jiu-jitsu or one of the old arts, and he got buried with a white belt, and his thing inscribed is, I want to be buried in a white belt so I can always be a student in the afterlife. And I read that years ago, and I know I'm fucking it up, but I took that to heart, and it's like, yeah, like, be a student, be humble enough to know that you don't fucking know everything. Like, be okay saying, hey dudes, I don't fucking know the answer. And I use that with, like, work with our, home business and with the kids and anything else. Like, I know plenty of dudes that know way more fucking shit than I do, and I got no problem. Hey man, can you help me? And putting the pride and the ego aside to be like, hey, what do you think?
It's an authenticity thing
yeah.
too.
And so, like, that's the kind of thing you would expect from your Marine senior leadership, instead of, you're a piece of shit because this, and this. Well, then fucking teach me not to do this, and this, as I don't fucking know any better. And again, we just came off a 10-month fucking connected deployment, and I got nothing to show for it because I didn't go fucking to Okinawa. Cool.
So with that being your area of operations in Iraq, what was your mission set? Did you have anything specific that you were, like, tasked with doing?
So overall, it was interdiction and keeping Route Bronze open from Husayba, which was the Iraqi-Syrian border, all the way to Baghdad. So they had a free line of operations for our area. So from Husayba, where Bravo Company was at, Route Bronze ran from there, where they had their cop, all the way to Alpha, had an outpost, and then it carried over. So we were kind of split up. So Red and Blue would patrol out between the two, and then Charlie was a reactionary force, and then we would just do patrols for Al-Qaim proper, and then Husayba made up the two parts of the town, and then that road would run all the way back towards Baghdad. And so we would just do missions in there, interdictions, patrols, pretty much show. Now, I wouldn't say show of force is the best verbiage, but just letting people know, hey, we're here, we want to help. Hearts and minds, the whole Mattis thing. Like, let them know that, hey, we're here to help. How can we help? Things like that. And that, they're obviously the shitheads. And then as soon as we showed up, we're ripping with 3-7, and it was fucking nuts when we showed up. 3-7 was having their hands full with the IEDs and the guerrilla tactics that the irregulars were doing, whether they be fucking Iraqi irregulars from the army or just shitheads coming in from Syria. There was a whole list of people that they potentially thought these guys were. They were killing Chechens, they were killing Chinese, they were killing Koreans, they were killing just a host of nations of dudes all over this area. And so, and you don't, and then another part too is, like, you might get an engagement and you take casualties, but you'd have nothing to show for it, and so it was tough.
How long after you got there did you see your first engagement?
So we were doing left seat, right seat. and we're doing our relief in place with 3-7.
What's left seat, right seat, like your ride along type
Yep,
of thing?
exactly. So I've got a dude from 3-7 with me, and he's been there, the whole fucking time. I want to say he was a corporal or sergeant, I can't remember, and I don't remember his name. We're going out the back door of the cop, and they had put mines at some point on the back end. So we're going, and that's before we had route clearance or IED clearing or any of those type of TTPs. Like, it was just, you're learning as you go. And so we had gone out, and 3-7 was in the lead. It was like 3-7-1-7, 3-7-1-7 type thing with all, like, their cat team and our cat team. And the lead or the second lead vehicle gets hit by an anti-tank mine. Fucking goes off. No one's injured. Thank God. And the first sergeant, massive motherfucking dude, and I don't know his name. Big fucking dude, and red hair. Been around for fucking ever, from what everybody said. But big dude, like 6'5", 6'7", big motherfucking dude. Gets out of the vehicle, walks all the way to the other vehicle, checks on those Marines, gets the greens up, fucking does the whole thing. And engineers come up and clear from, do the clearance, and homeboy had stepped on an anti-tank mine. And luckily enough, he's not large enough of a stature to set off an AT mine, but enough of us had driven over that exact same path, because it was like, those things like, hey, stay in the tracks. But the second or third vehicle or whatever it was had hit an AT mine, and that was like, something they would do. They'd make fucking potholes and throw a fucking AT mine, cover it up, you drive home, boom. And then they were starting to get more crafty with the IEDs and whatnot. So that was like fucking maybe day 1, day 2, it was in the first week. Like, I was like, oh shit, like, okay. And then we get done with that, and I want to say, I want to say it was September 3rd or September. It was in the first week of September, and I could look it up to tell you 100%. But we go back out, we do another left seat, right seat, and it's Major Rao, Lieutenant Winchester, and Lance Corporal Wilt, and Lance Corporal Cisneros from 3-7. So the first dudes are all leadership from Cat Blue, and then the battalion or our company commander, Lieutenant Wilt, is Cat Blue's platoon commander, and then, Chamberlain is Wilt. Fuck, man. Rao is the company commander. Wilt is a section leader for Cat Blue, and then Chamberlain was the LT. They go up to the pontoon bridge that links two areas along the river, and the LAVs would typically go back and forth. And normally they would have sentries posted to keep both sides secured. And they go up to do, an inspection with the 3-7 guys, and they had stuffed they estimated at least 5,000 pounds of explosive inside of HESCO barrier. So they all go up to do the inspection, and everything's gone. All three of them are gone. The truck next to them is gone. I had a friend who was in that truck, the gunner, Cisneros. He's gone.
How far back were you from this?
I was not there.
You weren't there.
So
oh wow. Okay.
This was Cat Blue had taken out the platoon. Cat Blue went out that day. Cat Red was on QRF, and we didn't get sent out. They sent out Charlie Company to reinforce. If I remember correctly, it was Alpha or Charlie. I can't remember. And this is a long fucking time ago.
It's a huge explosion.
Yeah, it was fucking massive. Like, it eviscerated those three individuals and the kid from 3-7. It destroyed the truck next to it. It destroyed another truck. Several other Marines were wounded. A huge mass casualty. And this was in the first week of the deployment. And that really set the tone for the rest of the deployment. And it became that almost every week or almost every patrol, someone went out and someone didn't come home. And if they did come home, it was on a bird. And so it was a completely different, aspect. And, you go out and you don't know, within 2-3 weeks, we hit my first IED. A couple of weeks later, hit some anti-tank mines, go out again, hit more IEDs. Within, I think, my first deployment, I hit that second deployment, 4 various anti-tank mines or IED combinations. I think when it was all said and done with that deployment, it was 5, if I remember right. And, it was just dealing with death. It didn't matter. You go see your friend in the infirmary and you say your last goodbyes. You do, last call. And it gets to a point where you're like, fuck, man, like, I'm tired of this. Like, I'm tired of seeing my friends put in bags. I'm tired of seeing dog tags on a fucking rifle and a sandbag, and I can't do anything. There's no one for me to fight. I don't have an enemy. I don't have anybody to fucking unleash this anger and this built up rage. But every day I've got to go back out.
Who was the first close friend to you that you lost at deployment?
He was one of the kids in SOI with us, and I haven't thought about him in fucking forever. But I'd seen him at in the infirmary. He got fucked up.
What happened?
IED. He caught shrapnel through the face. Just fucking fragged his whole face and down his arm. He lived, but that was like the first, like, real, up close and personal, like going and seeing him, like, hey man, like, I'm glad that you're okay, type thing.
Between the leadership that was killed during the first explosion that you were talking about, and then your buddy, what is your mentality like at 19, knowing that, is this more of like, I could really die? Yeah,
it started setting in, like, it definitely, and then you got I had, getting hazed daily by our fucking shithead ass fucking leadership, my senior Marines. I got to the point where, like, I would go burn shitters so I didn't have to be in the hooch. I'd go do chow duty, and then they're like, oh, we know what you're doing. You don't want to be around us, so you can't go do extra duties. So then I'd volunteer for fucking more patrols, because I don't want to fucking be around here. I'd rather go get fucking shot at than deal with you. And they wouldn't go out. That was the funny part. They wouldn't go out. They'd send out the kids. They'd send out us boots to go do patrols and shit.
This is all the same highway too, right?
Yeah, it was bronze, and it's one of those things, like, it's like blocks of my little mind, and I think back about it, and it sucked. We had the new kids, Chopin had come in, and a couple other kids, had come in and shipped in, and other dudes, and and it's like, okay, now I have a friend, and it's like we're all boots, and just trying to fucking get through this shit, and every fucking week, like, again, another, like, it wouldn't be like always cat red. It might be fucking cat blue. It might be 81s. It might be the Jav guys, but somebody almost every fucking patrol didn't come home in some form or fashion. And I think we ended up running, close to 20 KIA and about 70 wounded over the course of the deployment. And there's nothing that readies you for that. There's nothing that you're able to, like, train for, and it's like, and luckily enough, when it got to the point where, like, we were going to do a night raid, like 3 a.m, and we had combat replacements come in, and we were going out to do a fucking snatch and grab, and going back out and being like, hey man, like, I'll take the gun. Like, no, I want the gun. And I'm like, no, I'll take the gun tonight. And no, I'll drive. No, I'll drive. And then you go out and you get fucking fragged, and it's like, well, fuck, man, that was supposed to be me, and seeing your fucking friend bleed the fuck out, and you're like trying to save his fucking life with him in your fucking lap, and you can feel that hot fucking blood, and and it's like, nothing prepares you for that. There's no training besides being in that fucking moment and then hoping that you're just doing it fucking right. Hope to God that I'm fucking stuffing enough goddamn gauze in this motherfucker's throat to keep him from fucking dying. I hope to God I'm stuffing enough, bandages in this fucking artery to get him on a fucking bird. I hope that, he's calling a fucking 9-line in right. I don't know. And there's, you can sit here and you can do all the training in the fucking back end, but it's like what Tyson says, as soon as you get punched in the fucking mouth, it just goes out the fucking window. And it's not until you do it repeatedly, do you start becoming, opaque, I guess, or, like with the fucking SEALs and stuff I would train with later on in my career, where it's like, we're just doing this to a point where it's a second nature. There's no thought about it. It's just doing it. John got fragged. Cool. Call the fucking bird. We still got to fucking push. And, being at that age, there's, in the environment that I was in at the time, none of us fucking knew. None of us were prepared for those type of environments, and like, it was a complete 180 of the first deployment, going from being the fucking big dick and enforcing our will on every fucking thing, shooting fucking tanks and guns and all this other shit too. I don't know, man. Like, we're gonna fucking drive down this goddamn road that we've been driving down for the last several months, and one of our trucks is gonna get ripped in half today. And I don't know. It could be my fucking truck. It could be fucking his truck. It could be fucking Charlie Company's truck behind me. I don't fucking know. And on several occasions, I'm just in the fucking place watching the fucking shit take place and just putting myself in a position to try to mitigate fucking as much as I could. That deployment was fucking rough. There's a lot of, more depth to it, but it's just one of those things where you can easily lose your humanity and morals because of the complexity and darkness of what conflict is, where I just got shot at, my best friend's fucking dying, and there's all these people here and they know about it. You fucking know they know about it. And I've got a 50 cal machine gun and 200 rounds of slap. They should all die. And you battle with that. You have that fucking thought. They all need to die. And you can't do anything about it. But every fucking week you've got to go back out. And every day you got to go back out and do it again and again and again. And more of your friends are on that bird or in that bag, and there's nothing you can do about it. And that really fucks with you. And it fucked with me for a long, long fucking time. And I was ready to fucking go home, man. Like, I was ready to go fucking home when it got all said and done.
The incident with your best friend and all that happening, is that something that you can talk through? Or
yeah, and I've fucking drowned this motherfucker a couple times, and I actually just did it recently. I didn't reach out to Smith. Like, me and Nick, we went out all the time together. We drank, tried to chase girls. We partied, did all this stuff. I'd like to believe we were good fucking friends. He took me, he had a car, and we went around and did all this stuff. He's a machine gunner. And that night we were going to do that hit. And I was like, Nick, I'll take the gun. He's like, no, I want in the gun. I was like, no, I'll be in the gun. Like, I haven't been in the gun for a while. He's like, no, I want to be in the gun. I was like, all right, man. So I ended up driving. We're going down Route Bronze to do some snatch and grab on some asshole, like 2 or 3 in the morning. And we're going down. I'm lead truck. I've got Charlie Company, I believe, behind me, and they're in the 7-tons, and the rest of the cat platoon. So cat truck, 7-ton, cat truck, all the way, back. We're going down. I got the MVGs on. I think I had 14s on, if I remember right, because, the whole try to keep one light on and, whatnot. We're going down, and King is the VC, and he's an IR Marine from Chicago. He was actually from here. And we're going down, and I'm like, King, I think that's something. He's like, I don't know. And I was like, I think so. And then The first one goes off. Boom. Fucking huge ass fucking 155 goes off to the front of the truck. As soon as I hit the fucking gas, the second one goes off to the back quarter panel. Fucking throws the truck this way. Get the truck back over this way. Fucking, I think there was a third. I'm not for sure. I couldn't tell. You know, just fucking boom, boom, boom. Push to the fucking kill zone. You know, the radio's fucking going all crazy. Push all the way through. Nick fucking slumps down, hits me. Fucking, I can feel Nick's blood at this point all over my fucking side. Push through. Throw the other guy back up in the gun. And in the dark, trying to figure out where Nick got hit. He took frag to the face. He took shrapnel to the neck. He took shrapnel to the shoulder. And he's just got blood just doing the fucking cartoon fucking, you know, pulsing. And just stuffing fucking gauze. Just stuffing gauze and every fucking thing, pushing fucking blood out. It's too high up on his shoulder to do a tourniquet. It's his, you know, main artery on his arm. He's got a good 2 inches fucking shrapnel sticking out his face. He's got shrapnel laceration all over his neck, and just stuffing fucking gauze in him. And there's fucking blood everywhere. And I'm trying to keep Nick awake. King and Noble, who are both IR Marines, are now at the point talking to the rest of the platoon, and Noble is on our other comms prepping the 9 line, or vice versa. I can't remember exactly who did what. And the whole time I'm trying to keep fucking Nick from going into shock, because I can feel him getting cold and him, like, you know, saying stupid shit. So I remember just fucking beating his ass, trying to keep him the fuck awake. Get him out of the truck, spine board his ass, and they're like, hey, we're going to run the other truck up, and they're going to load him up into the 7-ton. Charlie Company's going to come up, load him in the 7-ton, and we're going to do a hasty LZ on the other side of the Route Bronze. There's a designated LZ that we had. Obviously, everybody fucking pops up. The fucking town's awake now, and Dust Off comes in, fucking screaming, like just right off the fucking. I mean, just right off the fucking I'd say maybe 200-300 AGL, just fucking screaming in, banks around, fucking super hard, fucking drops. They load him up. He's fucking gone. But we still got to go get fucking dick face. I've got 3 blown tires. I can't see out my fucking 2 windshields. And I can't open up anything on this side of the truck.
So they continued to use that truck?
Yeah, we had to finish the mission because it's the Marines. We swap out the 3 tires. We throw Brown up in the gun, and we go fucking grab shithead. Charlie Company snatches them up, and we go back. And we got back probably like 4 or 5 in the morning, right before dusk, right before sun up comes back. And we limped back into base. We get parked, and Gunny comes in. Gunny Grice comes in, and he's like, "Just go to bed. Go to bed, guys." And took a quick shower just to get Smith's blood off me, and I could smell, you know, that iron. It was in my mouth. It was in my hair. It was fucking everywhere. And like the whole fucking time, you don't have any time to process, you know, what's going on besides doing the things that you're doing in that spot. But it's like, that was supposed to be me, you know. And I argued back and forth with Nick that whole fucking time. That was supposed to be me, and I battled with that for a long fucking time. And get back, you know, the next day, washing my fucking camis with toothpaste to get the blood out, because I didn't have any more camis, because we're that far in deployment. And guys coming out to take pictures of the fucking truck, you know, fucking all the rimps. And I got fucking super fucking mad. And then Gunny luckily enough, Gunny was out there. I don't know exactly what Gunny was doing, but he was the 81's platoon sergeant. And Gunny Grice is one of those old school fucking dudes, real fucking old school dudes. Artilleryman, fucking just real gruff, old school Marine. And I was and I'm a Lance Corporal, so I'm just fucking washing my fucking camis with fucking toothpaste and a fucking 1 liter of fucking water, and just trying to get fucking Nick's blood out, and these fucking cocksuckers come out to take fucking pictures of the fucking truck, and I swear to God, there's fucking blood, and I didn't clean the inside, but there's fucking blood all over the outside of the truck. There's blood all in the fucking side of the truck, and we haven't even got to it at all. And these fucking cocksuckers are fucking trying to open the doors and take pictures, and I had not seen them until Gunny started fucking yelling. And then I got involved, and Gunny stopped me, and he fucking chewed them out. Like, how the fuck dare you fucking even dare to fucking come over here? Because they weren't part of 1-7. I don't know who they belonged to. Because we had Tiger, the tankers, they were on the other side of where we were at, Al-Qaim, and then the air wing was down over here, but they never came over to where we were at. So I don't know who they belonged to. But Gunny fucking just lit into them. And I mean, must have been over there for fucking 20, 30 minutes just getting fucking yelled at. And I just went back to cleaning my camis, and Gunny didn't let us go out. He didn't let our truck go out for about another week. And then we got a brand new truck because they didn't want us in that truck anymore. And I'm okay with that. Like, because we cleaned it. We cleaned out all Nick's blood, and it's just, it's one of those things, like, you can't clean a fucking truck enough not to get the blood out. You'll never not smell the blood and whatnot, and and then I didn't think about it again. I just kind of blacked it out and just went back. Just went back to doing what we were supposed to do, and a week later, we got fucked, and we got fucked again. We got fucked up really hard, and more guys got killed. And again, you just deal with it, and you just fucking, you don't have time. You just fucking keep dealing with it,
That survivor's guilt is something that is a really common theme, and a lot of people, I think, deal with. What's some advice that you would give to somebody that's going through that right now?
Fuck, man. I don't know if it's any fucking good advice. I drank my motherfucking guilt into the fucking dirt, and it didn't work. I did counseling, and it didn't work for me. It just took time, and that's tough. I didn't talk to Nick for at least I don't know, maybe 10 years. I didn't talk to Nick. He just disappeared. I never seen him again, and it ate at me. Like, why? Like, where did you go? And like, he got and like later on, you obviously figure he got medically retired, but you don't know that.
He lived.
Yeah, he lived.
That's good to hear.
And he never reached out, and it's like I told him, and I got, every time I talked to Nick, I got super fucking drunk because I didn't know any other way to fucking do it sober. I couldn't do it sober. So I'd get super fucking drunk, and I'd message Nick, and the first time he didn't message me back. And I was like, I'm not expecting you to say anything. I just miss you as a friend that I had in my mind that I'm still keeping alive from all those years ago, and trying to work through that. I don't know what I want. I don't know what I expect. I don't know anything in this, what I'm doing right now. But I'm doing something, and he didn't message back that time. And I'd say maybe 6-8 months ago, I got fucking hammered. I mean, I got shit-faced fucking drunk. And usually I'm pretty good with my liquor, but then those intrusive thoughts, and over the years I've gotten better, but every once in a while I'll get on that deep end, and those fucking little fucking tingles come up, and I got really fucking dark. And it's like one of those things, like, you get shit faced and you text your ex, I love you. Mine are, all the fucking the spicy dreams, and the dark shit that, I put away and I don't want to think about no more. And I messaged Nick, and he wrote back, and I told him the same thing. I was like, I don't know what I'm expecting. I don't know what the fuck I want right now. I don't know. I know we're not going to be friends. I know we're not. I know your life is here and my life went here, and that night was fucking chaotic fucking hell. And I don't know. I don't, and I'm just here, man. I don't know what I'm fucking doing. I'm just trying to tell you I'm sorry, I guess, in a way. It's rough, and he messaged and I didn't read it because I was fucked up and I haven't opened it up. I don't want to, I guess. I don't know. So, but yeah, that one has been one of the long-term things I've dealt with over the years. Because again, it's let me drive. No, I want to drive. No, and this is a conversation between you and your boys, and fucking 3 hours later, one's on a fucking bird.
So if that role was reversed and he would have let you take the gun and you would have been the one that got hit that night, what do you think you'd be feeling towards him? You think you'd even be thinking about it that way?
I don't even know, man. I really don't.
I'm sure you would have taken that for him.
Yeah, and that's the fucking mentality of the grunts. That and this is more so when my third deployment and my fourth deployment, I didn't care about the mission. I didn't care about why we were here. I didn't care about the geopolitical nature of why anymore. I cared about fucking those Marines and doing everything in my fucking power to train them and instill, good order and discipline and traits and training to make sure that they knew that we've done everything possible before we cross the LD. Because if I didn't, then I didn't do what I needed to do as a leader. And at times I was hard and an asshole and vindictive, but it all had a purpose, because at some point I had been in this position where this had happened, and I wish I fucking had done something like this. I wish we had trained like this. I wish we would have had a fucking sit down and say, hey, stupid fuck, when this happens, do this, and then, and that's the only, you don't get that until you get to that position where your buddy's fucking brains are in your fucking lap and you're like, what the fuck do I do? Because nothing sets you up for that. There's no, and I will say the military has gotten better as the years progressed with the war, where we continuously trained with all the changing TTPs. But at that time, there was none. You were the guinea pig. You were, the fucking, going out with I think it was the 11-7 unarmored Humvee. You're the reason we have, a fucking up armor. Sorry. I'm sorry your squad's fucking dead, but hey, the next guy's got fucking 7-inch fucking armor, And just like the dudes in Vietnam. Hey, I'm sorry your fucking squad got wiped out, but these dudes now, they got fucking better Kevlar, and that's the unfortunate nature of warfare, and so it's hard to say. I don't know what I would think or whatnot. Maybe I'd be like fucking Lieutenant Dan. It's hard to say. I don't know. I've never really put much thought to that, because I didn't have that opportunity. And then,
it's something you can't change, right?
No.
It's like, I just think that, it sucks that you just knowing that you beat yourself up over it, because there's just really no.
And that's usually, like, for the most part, I'm pretty good on it until every once in a while the spicy dream wants to come out and fucking talk.
What is that dream?
It's just like, I'm just, metaphorically saying, like, spicy dreams, like the fucking PTSD, having, I don't even, flashback's the right fucking word to it, I don't like to have that, I don't feel like that's the right word, to have, characterize that episode, I guess. Because it's always one of those things, man. Like, you go do counseling with the VA, and it's like talking to some 23-year-old, and it's like, I know you are here to help me, but the complexities of warfare and the strain that you go through, you don't understand. And I'm not trying to negate what you're trying to do for me, but it's difficult. And I remember saying the same thing with my lady, and she ends up quitting like 8 months later because she just can't deal with it anymore. She can't deal with all the fucking, the trauma of what guys have gone through and then trying to deal with. And like I always say this, like I know guys are even worse than me, and I try to use what little platform I have to show guys it's okay to be broken. It's okay to show emotions. It's okay to wake up and say today's a fucking shit day, but keep fighting. It's okay. Just don't give up. And don't be a statistic. And it's easy to be a fucking statistic. And I've got best friends who fucking have called me at 3 a.m. and say, hey man, today's the fucking day. And I'm like, no, today's not the fucking day. I'm coming over. And I haven't gone there, and I've had some real fucking dark days, but I know that I can call people, and that's the tough part, is knowing guys are out there who care when guys feel like nobody cares, and that's like the toughest thing.
I think what's really difficult with men in general is just that we're so used to generation, like holding all that inside. So getting guys to the point where they're willing to talk to somebody that cares about them.
Like, I know for like my boys, like I tell them I love them all the time. And like, I didn't have a father growing up beside my grandfather. And even then, like, he never said he loved me. He said he proud of me, which was, amazing. But all the time, any fucking chance I can tell him I love him, I'm proud of him. And then doing, all the things to make sure that they know, hey, it's okay to feel the way you're feeling. Like, project it. It's okay. Like, you're not, this might not be the time. Like Little League. I don't want you crying at Little League because we don't cry at baseball. Like the fucking movie with Tom Hanks. We don't cry at baseball. We got a job to do, but we can cry later, and that's okay. But we got to take care of this right now, and then we'll go have our, we'll have our fucking thing, and that's okay, and showing them that, it's okay to have the feelings and not force them down. And you can see men's health, I feel, and maybe it's a social media fucking algorithm, but I want to believe that people are starting to take notice of men's health, and men hopefully will feel, that society is opening up to the idea that, hey, they do have fucking emotions, that they are fucking people. They're not just a paycheck or a fucking walking ATM machine. They are, people to be valued and respected and have something to give besides just fucking something tangible when you need it, and I don't know, that's a whole nother fucking topic, but, especially for veterans, it's like, I know when I said, hey, I'm not okay, I got fucking ostracized, and this was 2008. Well, fuck you. I just gave you fucking 3 deployments, and I remember we were taking psyops out, and it was a straight up go fuck you, like come fight. You want to fucking bang, come bang. And so we're driving down fucking Route Bronze going to Saba, and I was not the lead truck. I was probably like the third or fourth truck. There was for sure a 7-ton in front of me. psyops was in front of me, and then one of the other trucks. I was in like the second truck for the CAT.
For those that don't know what psyops is.
Psyops is psychological warfare, and I can't tell you everything they do. But what we were doing was going out there to piss off the insurgents who were fighting us. Like, come out. The message literally said, come fucking fight us. Come fight the Marines. Like, you want some action? Come get the smoke. And we took everybody out, for the most part. Charlie Company was in tow, and we're driving down Route Bronze, and we're cruising like 10, 20 miles an hour. So the psyops truck Humvee with this big loudspeaker, 4-piece loudspeaker, just talking shit. And they got an interpreter talking shit, just mad shit. And I don't know, I can't understand any of it. I'm just driving. And Brown's in the gun. He's one of our new kids. Noble's behind me and King's VC. And we're driving. And all of a sudden, this 4-door sedan smashes into the psyops truck. And they say it's at least 2,000 to 3,000 pounds of explosive went off and detonated this truck. Truck goes in 2 ways and massive fireball. Immediately, everybody herringbones. All the crunchies get out. All Charlie Company, we herringbone, and nobody does anything. And I remember sitting there and I'm like, King, we got to do something. And this is after several minutes. And it was, I want to say it was Lieutenant Clark at the time. But don't keep me on it. He's in charge of the patrol. And I'm like, King, we got to do something. We've got a fucking massive truck that's on fire. And I knew there was at least 4 guys in there. We got the crunchies, the fucking riflemen all over the fucking place. We got the 2 gun trucks in front of us, I want to say herringboned on the road, and no one's doing anything. And I'm like, fuck it. I'm like, King, we're going. And we bypass the truck. I throw my truck in just into the fucking vicinity of the block where their Humvee was, and I was like, Doc, let's go. We get out, and Doc Sanford, good fucking dude, funny, typical corpsman, don't fucking, just green fucking corpsman. And first deployment, I want to say he was with us. I think he was on a ship beforehand. And we get out, and the fucking truck is gone. Like the truck's gone, the driver's gone, the interpreter's gone. The Army staff sergeant, he's conscious but not dead yet. And then the other kid, same thing. So can't do anything for the first 2 guys, but we get them out, and I start doing triage with Doc on the guy, and get him on a spine board, try to stabilize him, getting this taken care of, start working on the next guy. At this point, Charlie Company this platoon has made a cordon around us, and I ran over to fucking lieutenant. I was like, hey, you're too close, push the fuck out. So he's hunkered down behind some cover, and then he radios in, and everybody starts pushing out because I'm waiting for a counterattack. I'm waiting for that in my fucking mind. This is what they do. Like, they'll hit you, and then they'll fucking hit you, and so I was like, okay. So that's what I'm waiting for. So I ran over to him, told him that, and then I run back. Doc is now working on the other dude. We get him stabilized. We have a large enough area on where we're at to call in dust off. Dust off comes in, loads up the 2 CAS. The other 2 guys, they're gone. Like, they're gone. There's nothing of them besides charred remains. Like, and I hate saying that. Like, there's just nothing to take. And it sucks because that's a Marine, and that's an Iraqi interpreter who wanted his country to be better. And there's nothing to send home. And so, we get done with that. The tractor trailer comes out, loads up the fucking truck. Captain Diatoni from Charlie Company sends fucking everybody out. Tiger 1, Tiger 2. The rotors come out. Fucking everybody comes out. Bravo Company comes out. Everybody's fucking out. All of 1-7 is now out on Route Bronze. And we're out there for probably 3-4 hours. Just chilling. Just like the whole fucking platoon, like the whole goddamn company is just chilling. And we finally load up and we go home. And again, it's just like there's nothing that prepares you for this shit. I just watched a fucking car bomb hit a fucking Humvee and launch it like a fucking tin can, and then I'm doing fucking mass CAS on fucking a Marine and fucking 2 Army cats, and then I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna fucking wash my camis and eat chow and do it tomorrow. So, that's what I'm waiting for. So I ran over to him, told him that, and then I fucking watched my camis and eat chow and do it tomorrow. And then I'm gonna go home and fucking wash my camis and eat chow and do it tomorrow. So, and then I'm gonna go home and fucking wash my camis and eat chow and do it tomorrow. You know, there's nothing that fucking prepares you for that shit. You know, and it's fucking crazy. You know, it's fucking crazy.
Did you see the enemy the entire deployment?
No. Every time I got shot at or blown up, not once. And that was like the most demoralizing thing. Like, never once did I have like a fixed fucking enemy to shoot back at, to like know for sure this son of a bitch just shot at me. Like, he wants to go toe to toe and get some. Nope. It was never that, you know. And I don't, you know, it's like one of those things, like I told my junior Marines, you know, later on, it's like, you know, you all want that until you get that, and then you don't want that no more. But it's like, you know, at that time, you know, that version of me is like, yeah, 1,000%. Put fucking 100 fucking dudes over there and a fucking 100 Marines over here. Let's fucking do the goddamn thing. Like, let's just fucking go. Let's get this fucking over with, you know. And you know, now, you know, watching what's going on in Ukraine with fucking trench warfare, it's like, fuck, man. Like, I got no envy for you guys. I got nothing. You know, I couldn't imagine being in a fucking trench, and now I'm getting fucking bombed and fucking flamethrowed and all this shit. I'm like, nah, man. But I'll fight you toe to toe, rifle to rifle. I'll do it. You know, it's grimy work, but fucking, you know, like, at least there's honor in that. You know, and I don't like using that word because it's not. There's nothing honorable about warfare, but at least give me something. You know, let me at least fucking have an opportunity to fucking shoot back at you. You know, let me fucking do something instead of just getting fucking shot at and blown up and fucking turn into a fucking crispy ass fish stick in my truck. You know, get fucking propane bombed enough times and you're like, well, fucking, this is lame. You know, I think towards the later part of my deployment, they started taking propane. It was like Hollywood shit. Like we got hit by this one IED, and they just put propane bombs. They put the 155 shell, and they put all these propane bombs. So we got peppered from the 155 shell and this massive fireball, like some fucking Michael Bay movie. Like, it didn't do anything to us, you know. It peppered it us enough to break the glass, but it's like, what the fuck is this, you know? And you know,
these so they're, for the most part, these are all artillery rounds where they would put, did they have a detonator on them?
So these were all command, like, most of the EOD guys said that they were doing the cell phones. So they would see us drive down, call the cell phone would do its thing, trigger the fucking army device, and then pop off on us. We didn't start seeing pressure plates until Afghanistan. But almost all the ones that we had were command det, either, you know, like a clacker, like a claymore, or they were a cell phone. Wasn't until the later part of our deployment where they started getting real crafty, like with the EFTs, like the cone shapes. That was like other areas of operations. Those started popping up, and then by the time we were leaving, those had started popping up into our AO, but not in frequency, which is even more devastating than the typical, you know, IEDs that we were dealing with. A lot more dangerous, deadly, and they were definitely designed to fucking kill everybody. Luckily enough, you know, we just took 155 shells, propane, artillery shells, things like that nature. You know, just hopefully enough the explosion's not buried enough or offset enough. You know, they weren't doing the shape charges or the blast boxes and stuff like that yet. They would do that in my third deployment when we went back. But for the most part, you know, it was all guerrilla warfare, man. You know.
Was there anything else that stood out about the second deployment that you wanted to touch on before we get to the third? Not
really. I mean, that's the big two things was, you know, everything. That's it. You know, nothing.
I mean, just knowing that there's like a pretty good chance that you're going to get blown up driving down the road today has got to be brutal on the nervous system. You know what I mean? Like
and even today, like I will tell myself, and it's stupid, and I haven't driven a Humvee in, you know, 15, 20 years now or some shit. I will see trash. I'll be taking my kids to school, and I will see trash on the side of the road. I will tell my lizard brain that is not an IED. My sternum will tighten up, and I will say, that's not what it is, Chris. Don't fucking do it. and I'll fucking pop my sternum, getting ready for that to fucking blow up. I mean, it's dumb, like, you know, but I still deal with that, and it's like, no, you don't. Like, no, I you know, it's like, no, I still do, and I, not all the time, but there'll be times I'll, you know, if I see, they would, and they got to the point where they're stuffing donkeys with IEDs, and they put a donkey on the road. We had a dog blow up on our truck and cover some fucking dog guts. That was pretty fucking lame. Didn't do anything, just cover some fucking dog guts. But I'll see, you know, roadkill. And the same thing. I'll tell myself that's not what it is, and then my chest will tighten up, and I'm like, no, don't do it, and I'll feel my fucking sternum pop, and I'm like, God damn it! And there's nothing I can do, physically or mentally, to tell myself otherwise, because I've gone through so many times where you're just driving down the road, and every fucking, and you know as well as I do, and in Iraq, every fucking thing is dirty. Everywhere you go, there's piles of trash. There's nowhere clean in that fucking country. So it's easy to stuff fucking 155s in here, or put a fucking culvert full of fucking explosives. There could be this, it could be that. So the whole time you're driving down the middle of the road, and you're like, and it's like, you don't want to have like the nonchalant, because it's like, well, fuck, when it does blow up, I need to be paying attention. But at the same time, like, I can't fucking live like this, you know? So it's like I'm trying to find a fucking balance, and there's no balance. You're just, today is the day. Today is the fucking day. You know, and it's, so yeah.
At some point, did you get to the point where you're just like, you accepted the fact that this is going to happen to you?
I think after Morgan lost his legs, if I remember right, I was like, okay, cool. I'm not going to have legs, because our Humvees, everybody kept fucking blowing up and losing their legs. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to have fucking legs. So that was like kind of one of those things. I was like, all right, I can live without legs. I'll get fucking some sweet ass prosthetics. I'll be like 7'2". I'll look fucking, you know, pretty badass, all fucking tall and shit. And I'll get those fucking, you know, blade legs or whatever. And it was always funny, because like we had the kind of conversations like, I'll lose my legs. I won't lose my fucking hands, you know? Like, I'm cool with losing fucking, you know, a digit, but I won't lose my fucking hands, you know? I gotta drink beer and fucking jerk off. But I'm okay losing a leg or losing a foot. You know, that's all right. Fuck it, you know? I can deal with that. And that's like the black humor, you know, that you kind of just deal with. But like, you know, it's like, fuck, man, it's today the day. Well, fuck, I don't know, man. Maybe it is. Fucking boom, you know. It's like, fuck, you know. Trying to fucking just get through the day, you know. Trying to get through the patrol. Trying to get back to base in fucking one piece, and not have to fucking change out a goddamn tire. You know, that's probably what I got to at some point. It was like, I'm tired of changing out fucking tires. Building fucking Humvee tires sucks, and not having pneumatic tools to build Humvee tires. Like, you want to haze somebody, hey, go build fucking a Humvee tire. Oh, we got one done. Cool, build 10 more. Like, and there's like 30 fucking on the outside, and there's 40 on the fucking inside, and then there's the run flat. Well, you got to pull all of it apart, and then it's got the outer casing, inner casing. Man, you want to fucking hate somebody, build fucking Humvee tires. Like, if you're a motor fucking T guy and you want to fucking haze some fucking grunts, build fucking tires.
So coming back from this deployment, I'm assuming your mindset was a little different than the first.
Yeah, first night back, it was McKinnon and Jed and King and a couple other guys were back before we all kind of split up on block leave, and I went down and got a bottle of fucking vodka and Hypnotic, and we drank and fucking drank, and we cried. And we were in the barracks just fucking drinking and crying about all the dudes that didn't come home. And that was tough, you know, because there's a lot of dudes who were, you know, we're all kids that didn't come home, and nothing prepared you for that. And so we stayed up till 2, 3 in the morning just drinking. And we got done with one bottle. We went down and got another bottle. And then we got done with that bottle. We went doing another bottle. And then we were drinking beers. And then the beers are gone. And then we got more beers. And we're crying here. And then we go fucking see this guy. And we're talking about so-and-so. And then we're crying about that guy. And then we're going over to here. And we're drinking more. And then all of a sudden, it's 5 a.m. And I want a fucking California burrito. And I can't see fucking straight. So I'm going to drive because that's a smart thing to do. and I'm driving down fucking 2 Mile with one hand over my eye because I'm the only fucking guy with a fucking car. So I'm driving down 2 Mile with McKinnon and Jed in my fucking car to go get California burritos because why the fuck not? You know?
You think that's how most guys deal with that kind of trauma when they get
Yes.
home? Is that normalized?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if guys want to medicate, whether it be drugs or alcohol, I'm not going to fault them. I'm not. It's difficult to talk about this shit, and it's difficult for veterans to talk in general. That's probably one of the hardest fucking things to do is to get veterans to talk. And over the last several years with Vet Militia, it's been one of the fucking key cornerstones of what we've been trying to do with the program is to get veterans to feel okay to talk, you know, and talk however you feel. Like, I don't need you to tell me everything, but I'm here to listen. Like, I'm not, you know, it's okay. Like, if you want to talk about, you know, this little piece, that's cool. Let's talk about it. Get it out. Like, don't stuff it down because it's going to eat at you. It's going to come out at some fucking point and it's going to eat you. And I've dealt with this and I deal with it. And I try to tell guys, it's okay, man. It's okay. And it's cliche to, you know, the whole fucking, it's okay to not be okay. That's 1,000 fucking %. That's all right. Be willing to discuss it. Be willing to talk about it. You don't need to have this bravado nature. Like, I'm a fucking man. I don't even talk about my feelings. Sure, man. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're one of the lucky few. Maybe you are a fucking superhero and you can just not. But for the most of us who are, you know, at some point broken and trying to figure out this fucking thing called life, we need to discuss the things that we have gone through. And not everybody's, you know, situations, you know, are that difficult, but they might not know how to handle the scope of what they experienced. And being an active listener and just, hey man, just talk, you know. And if it takes, you know, a fucking beer or two or, you know, them getting high to discuss it, then fine. You know, I know it's like something with my wife. Like, I have not discussed with any of this in very small pieces because I don't want her to have the burden, you know. And I've told her that, and she's like, I understand. And I'm like, I just don't want you to carry this weight because I don't want you to have that. Like, it's not, that's my burden, but I don't want you to carry it, you know. And it goes back to my grandfather in Vietnam. It's like, we just never talked. We just had the mutual understanding, you know. But I felt, and looking back, I feel like if I would have asked, he would have told me, you know. And so now with like the WAT veterans and stuff like that, it's like, you know, it's okay. It's okay to talk. It's okay to do this. And if a guy wants to fucking, you know, get pissed drunk and fucking talk and he's not destructive, then by all means, man, who the fuck am I to say? Because I've gotten pissed drunk and woke up in a fucking ditch outside Mandalay Bay. And that's no fucking bullshit.
I think that's I think there's a difference between the self-medicating and talking to somebody,
Yeah.
right? Like the talking to somebody component of it is the crucial component, right? Because a lot of guys will drink and not say a word to anybody, and that's where it gets dangerous.
Yeah.
So.
And isolation is one of the most destructive things to the human mind, period. Regardless if it's a veteran or anybody, being isolated is dangerous. Isolation in your own mind just breeds... It just breeds things that don't exist, that you start, you know, nitpicking things, you know, like with fucking Nick. Like, maybe if I was more forceful, or maybe if I would have done this, or maybe I would have done that, or maybe it was, you know, a fucking Tuesday, or maybe it was fucking raining. You know, maybe Nick would have said, yeah, Chris, go ahead and be in the gun. And maybe it would have been me fucking bleeding out. You know, maybe Nick would have saved my life. Hopefully Nick would have saved my life. I don't know. So yeah.
So I know we were going to save this for the very end, but part of this conversation is Vet Militia. So why don't we talk a little bit about what that is? And
So Travis Kerr had reached out to me several years ago when the ice bucket challenge was going on, and the 22 push-ups, and he's like, "Hey man, like we all know fucking suicide's bad. Dumping ice on your head and doing 22 push-ups isn't gonna fucking stop anybody. It's not gonna stop anybody from fucking offing themselves." And I was like, "All right, man. Like, what do you want to do?" He's like, "I want to get guys together." I'm like, "All right, well, we both play paintball, so let's fucking let's get guys together in paintball." He's like, "All right, let's fucking do it." And it was 2016, and we got like 30 fucking dudes, 30 fucking random veterans to meet up at World Cup, and we made a 10-man paintball team, and we got fucking shit on. I mean, fucking just shit on, and we drank beers, and we bullshitted, and we had the camaraderie of the barracks, and that was it. That became the catalyst. All right, this was awesome. Let's do it again. All right, where else can we do it? All right, there's guys here. Hey, if you guys can get together, then fucking rock the name. Like, and I tell you, like, the name's not me. I'm not the name. You're the name. We're all the name. If you want to use the name, just fucking respect the name. If you want to go do that with the name, fucking yeah, man, do it. Like, guys like, I want to do bicycling, or I want to do fishing. Here, man, here's the fucking logo. Go fucking recruit other fucking veterans to do it. Like, the basis of it is to get veterans together to talk and have the camaraderie of the barracks. Because when we all get done, at the end of the day, that's what we miss. And there's other things about military service you do miss, shooting guns and driving trucks and driving tanks and all the fucking cool, sexy shit. But at the end of the day, you miss the fucking dude in the barracks kicking your fucking door open and be like, "What are you doing?" "Nothing." "Cool, we're going." "To do what?" "Get the fuck in, we're going." Or just chilling on the fucking couch, at fucking 1600 waiting to get off so you can play video games. But you already been playing video games since 1 o'clock. But now I'm off and I'm with my best friend and we're drinking beer, and having that friend for those 4 years, for most of us, 2 to 3 years, 4 years, whatever, that's what we miss. That's really what we miss at the end of the day. And if we can make that happen, a dozen times all over the country, then I'm all for it, man. And if I can use my little limited space, my little fucking box to facilitate that, then I'm all for it, man. And I know a lot of veterans aren't, open to going to the VFW because they kind of see it as that's a Vietnam thing or a Korea vet, thing, or going to the Legion. And I'm just as fucking guilty of it, growing up with my grandpa going to the VFW, everybody's chain smoking and it's just all the old fucking hats, and I'm just like, it's not really my fucking thing. And just, I've got a life and kids, and it's like, I'm not really ready to put the red piss cutter on and go to the Legion. I need to, I probably do, but I'm just not ready to do that yet. So this is what we're trying to do with our little space, and welcome anybody who wants to come in. Any service, if they're U.S., foreign, doesn't matter. One year we had French Foreign Legion guys show up. We've got Canadian vets. We've got French vets. We've got German vets, Canadians. I don't know if I just said that. But anybody's welcome to the community, because at the end of the day, we all miss camaraderie. And the more guys that we have that are willingly open to talk, then we're doing what we can with what we have in front of us to make that happen.
So it's not just paintball.
No, absolutely not. And we got, guys that do bike rides together, and we have guys that do fishing and, just get together. So there was like a D&D group for a little bit, and again, I'm like, tell guys, like, if you want to do something, by all fucking means, man, like, let me know and I'll put the fucking word out. Like, hey, we're getting together this weekend doing this. Come fucking show up. Like, we've done river floats, we've done cookouts, we've done just anything I can think of just to get veterans together. And it's like, I might not know you, and that's cool, man. Come shake hands, have a beer, come fucking eat, hang out, man. Because you might meet somebody who lives 2 doors down from you and is in a similar situation, who just needs a fucking friend who he doesn't know. And that's the great thing about the military. It's like, the paratrooper mentality. Well, he's from fucking ACO and I'm from BCO, but we got to go over here. All right, man. Well, we're going to form up and we're going to go over there. We're going to pick out some dudes from fucking DCO and ECO. Cool. Who are you with? I don't know, man. I'm just here. Cool, you're coming too. And that's really, the premise of it. It's like we're all just fucking from all the services, and not trying to segregate anybody, and everybody's open as long as they've served and they raised their right hand and took that oath, then they're more than welcome to come. And it's not even, like I said, it's not just our country. If you've sworn allegiance to your fucking home, because it was cool as fuck, man, being at fucking World Cup 2018 when we had damn near 30 fucking teams, and these legionnaires, she shows up, broken ass English. She's like, I am platoon sergeant, French Foreign Legion. Can I play? I'm like, fucking come on, girl, let's go. And she's like, I have friends. And they fucking rolled up, and I'm like, let's go. And, fucking threw them on a 10-man line. And fucking, they're out there fucking just banging with us. It was cool as fuck. And then having, fucking random ass German dude show up. Hey, can I play? By all means, my guy, come on. Because we're all the fucking same, man, And that's been the beauty of what Travis, thought of. And I've been able to use, again, my little limited fucking space to make happen. And guys are like, oh, you're a Vet Militia. I'm like, no, man, like I'm just the fucking dumbass who just keeps fucking pushing it. But at the end of the day, it's you guys, because if it wasn't for you, then none of this fucking exists. And like on the group page, we went from 2 of us to 2,800 of us. And like when guys like, hey, I'm not okay, the group stops for all the military memes and all the normal banter and insulates. Hey, where are you at? How can I help? All right. Do you need, like, I'm not too far away, man. I'm on the way. And we've had that, and we've stopped several suicides. I know 100% of, because someone went into the group and said, hey, I'm not okay. I need someone to talk to. And everybody stopped and honed in and did, what they could. And, and we have had guys that have been part of the group who have, made that choice to commit suicide, and it sucks, and that's the reality of the veteran society, that we're not gonna catch everybody, but fuck, man, all we can do is try. I tell guys all the fucking time, and that's why I try to use like my platform. It's like Instagram and Facebook it's really easy to lie about fucking shit and say everything's fucking peachy, but I got to the point where fucking Facebook's like, hey man, are you all right? Because I post suicidal shit all the time, and dark shit and stuff. It's troubling, but it's to show people, it's like, no, this is the reality that we live in as a veteran, or I do anyways, and I'm trying to work my way through it. And if I'm trying, I expect you to try, because don't let the hard days win. And that's tough, man. But I know I can reach out and talk to people, and that's what that's what I want, is you to reach out and talk to somebody and not feel so isolated that you make that choice, to commit suicide. And, Veteran Militia is, and I hope so, and it continues for as long as we can, to be that. And I know we need to make it a 501c, but we're just a bunch, like, I'm a dumb grunt, Travis is a dumb grunt, and we all got lives, and, so we haven't had a way to do it, and money and things like that and whatnot. So
if somebody wants to join, how do they get a hold of you?
Facebook's the fastest way, or they can message me directly. They can hit me on Facebook or Instagram, whatever. But they can, the fastest way is just hit up the Facebook page, answer the 3 simple ask questions. Did you serve? Are you a veteran? Because we have a lot of spam bots and shit like that. But that's the quickest way. And then, hey, I'm here. Who's around me? And then just kind of doing a tag, and it's like a little wildfire. Hey, I'm in fucking Wisconsin, or hey, I'm in Michigan, or hey, I just got stationed at Fort Hood. And then you'll see like, fucker, oh, hey, I'm down the road, what's up, you want to hang out this weekend? And it's cool seeing that, and and I love it, and it's great to know that I've made a positive impact, for as small as it is, and I'm proud to be part of what Travis, envisioned. So, I mean, my 3rd and 4th deployments, I mean, there's some notable pieces. The biggest thing is on my 4th deployment in Afghanistan. I got fired for being too bravado, because I just got to the point where I knew what was going on and nobody was reacting, so I just did what needed to get done, and I got fired. I got injured again in Afghanistan, so I got put on. I was on 30 days from when I got injured. My third deployment was the same thing as my second deployment, not as catastrophic. We still got fucking shot at daily. We didn't have as many KIAs or WIAs. But, you know, it was still a shitty deployment in that respect. But going from there, and we went right back to the same fucking place, it was definitely very haunting, because you drive around places and so-and-so died here, so things happened here, and so you always have that lingering memory.
Did they change anything about the approach of like trying to stop these guys from putting these bombs on the road?
You know, there's all the different TTPs. They had the eye in the sky, and you know, and then we would do fucking bounding fucking patrols and things like that. But you can't be, you know, you can't own a town 24/7. It's just impossible. We'd put snipers out. We'd do different interdictions and things like that. But you never own everything unless you put a rifle at every fucking grid square. You're never gonna own all the ground. And that's the reality of you know, the battle space. Getting, you know, my third deployment, going back and being more seasoned, you know, I think I was a sergeant. I gave up MSG duty to go back because Gunny Barole was like, "Hey, I need you," and I was like, "Nah, I'm done. I want to go be MSG." A Marine security guard and go to fucking cool places and do something different besides get shot at and blown up. And he's like, "Don't worry about that. I'll get you fucking orders, you know, to whatnot." And I was like, "All right, Gunny, fucking, I believe in you." And he was a great fucking dude, awesome fucking Marine. And I went back for my third deployment, and you know, same thing. Just, it's guerrilla warfare. That deployment. One of the things I will say that stood out the most is when we're getting towards the end. We were on a battle position with Alpha Company out at Alcatraz, and it was pretty much this hill that looked over one of the main MSRs, and then Al Qaim was out in the distance. Route Bronze was underneath us, and then the town, one of the other little villages, and then the river. So our job was essentially just to watch the road from, you know, assholes putting in IEDs, and then same thing, just to watch the roads and do counter interdictions. So Cat goes back. Cat goes back to do refuel for the BP, the battle position. And while we were out, the rifle squad goes down, and they have to make this hard corner to go into town, or to go into the village. And they've done this, you know, countless times. Just go down, because a couple nights prior, the insurgents cut the water lines and the electric lines into the village. So the platoon, the squad, was like, "All right, guys, we're going to go down there and see what needs to happen so we can get these guys power and water." And they had gone down, and there's this little girl from we got told, and she had a whistle. So the platoon goes down, the squad goes down, and it's a squad reinforced, so it's about 16 Marines. Goes down, makes the fucking hard left, and about halfway through, the little girl blows the whistle. When she blows the whistle, IED goes off in the front of the formation and at the corner of the formation. First two Marines fucking die. The dudes in the middle get fucking fragged. The dude in the center gets fucking fragged, and the dudes in the back get fragged. We're fucking 30 clicks back at fucking main base, getting supplies, and we get the fucking call, "Hey, they just fucking hit you guys. We need you." You know, like, and we're big brother. You know, these are our guys, and we end up hauling ass fucking back. And by the time we get back, the Casevac's already going off, and the guys are, you know, getting loaded up and whatnot. And that's when I really lost all humanity for everything there. Like, I didn't care anymore. I was like, all right, now we're using kids to kill us. And that was like one of the first times that they used kids to kill us. and it really fucked. It really sucked because like we're going there to do good. We're going there to help these people to get power and water, and we're out there every day. Just walking down the essentially Main Street to interact with the local populace, buying fucking goats and chickens and soda and cigarettes or whatever the fuck they're trying to pawn off on you. And now we're gonna use kids to kill us. It's like, all right, cool. And that's when I lost my humanity. I lost the morality of doing the right thing all the time. Going down, getting blown up, and seeing the farmer out in the field who knew that the fucking bomb that just blew up my fucking truck was there, and telling fucking Brown, kill him, shoot the fucking kill him, shoot the fucking that building where I would suspect they fucking deaded, things like that, and not having any conscience about it, not a second fucking thought. Because I had seen this fucking guy out here every fucking day for the last 6 fucking months. But I'm going to drive out here one fucking afternoon and you're going to fucking just watch me fucking blow up and my gunner's going to get fucking fragged. Nah, man. It wasn't cool anymore. It wasn't the kid that was there on the second deployment. And things like that. That was my third deployment. Not having the human nature of good or bad anymore. It was survival in that aspect. And now you hurt my Marines, and no, that's not acceptable. And I'll kill everybody. I'd say that to fucking anybody. I'd kill a fucking goddamn planet before I'll let anybody hurt my Marines. And I think that would go for anybody.
So how did that change the way that you guys were operating after that continued to happen?
I think a lot of us understood it, but we never said it. This is one of those things like a couple times we got into engagements, and I won't say like Death Blossom was acceptable, but Death Blossom was what we did, and
What's Death Blossom?
Everything around us dies. Anything that moves dies, and it was like, if this is what you want, then you're going to reap the benefits of it. And I don't want, and it's not like we were fucking meleeing fucking everything, but it's like, if someone took a pop shot at us, then it got a full frontal assault from a CAT team. 50 cal, Mark 19, it got everything. And there wasn't, this, let's put the gloves on. No, you got a fucking Marine infantry platoon giving you the fucking business. And and it's just, when we moved into Huseba, Hakwaniya, and we are doing the dam operation clearing with there, in Camp Wolf, and same thing. It's just like we got to this point where it's like, well, I'm not going to watch any more of my friends die. I'm not going to idly sit here and get shot at and not retaliate. And if where I'm retaliating is not the right spot, well, I'm fucking sorry. I'm not fucking sorry. Sorry. I'm going to do something. And if someone who's not supposed to die dies, then I don't fucking care. And that's, that's not right, but I don't give a fuck. I'm going home. My Marines are going to go home. And I'm okay with that. And I will always accept that is the right thing to do for as long as I live. And I will never not have, I will always have a clear conscience, is a better way to say it, about what I did on my third deployment when it came to those times. I have no regrets for any time that I was in a position to fucking return fire on something that was questionable. Because in the time and space, I made the right decision to make sure my Marines were safe. Afghanistan, that's a whole fucking... I actually got put in charge of an actual rifle platoon.
Let's talk about, right before you went, where were you going, what your status was.
So I get back from Iraq, my third deployment. I submit orders for MSG duty. I get accepted to the school seat. I'm laying in bed, and I get a call from the mass sergeant saying, "Hey, don't even fucking show up. If you fucking show up, I'll DQ on day one." And I'm like, I don't understand, Master Sergeant. I got orders. He's like, yeah, you got tattoos, and I don't fucking care. You ain't coming through my schoolhouse. So I had called the monitor. I was like, hey, like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm getting told that I'm going to get dropped on day one if I show up, and that's an adverse fit rep because I have tattoos. He's like, well, do you want to go to FMTU? And I was like, well, what is that? He's like, Foreign Military Training Unit. What do they do? He's like, Foreign Military Training Unit. Do you want to go? And I was like, what are the options? He's like, we can go be a drill instructor. I was like, fuck no. So I went to FMTU and showed up, and that was the grandfather of what MarSoc would become. And so started the pipeline training. I was there for a full year of training, became a MarSoc operator, like 6 days a week. Fucking, it felt like 18-hour days for a fucking year. Language training, everything. Just sun up to sundown training. We eventually became MSOB 2, if I remember correctly. We did the little ceremony. FMTU went away, and it's essentially foreign military training. So we would do like guerrilla warfare and foreign internal defense. So like teaching militaries how to fight and things like that.
So for those at home that don't know, MarSoc is Marine Corps Special Forces.
Yep.
And what was the other acronym that you just used?
Foreign internal defense, and then counterinsurgency is the big thing we were trained in. So essentially, like, we would teach them to be guerrillas, to go fight against a oppressive government. Did that for about 2 years, and I can't remember his fucking name, but I had an amazing team sergeant. I use that fucking very loosely because he was the biggest piece of shit that I've ever fucking met in my life. He's one of those guys that, like, he believed in his mind that he was the best Marine to ever be a Marine. It was funny. Like, I remember being in the team room, and everything was about him. He was the best Marine. He was the honor grad at this and the honor grad at that, and he made this program and he made that program, and if it wasn't for him, the fucking Marine Corps would fall apart. And this is the two mistakes I made in my Marine Corps career was, instead of asking to go switch to another team, I asked to go back to the fleet, because going back to war was easier of a decision than to deal with his dumbass. And so that's what I did. I went back to fucking the fleet, and I left MarSoc after 2 years.
So there was you went through selection and like that whole process.
So we were before selection. So we were grunts from everywhere. We went through the whole pipeline. This is before we got the insignia, but I do rate the insignia. I do have mine. I've got the certificate. Went through the whole fucking shit and shebang. Once we got done, we were the pilot program essentially for selection. So when we got done, they took everything that we did and crafted selection program for MarSoc. But we rate all of this stuff.
That's wild that you decided to go back instead of changing teams. That's a lot of that's got to be difficult training.
That we went through some shit. It was a good time. Like a funny story, we were in Alaska at Fort Wainwright, and we're doing fucking shoots, big boy shoots. And I'm RSO, a range safety officer, and I'm right behind the other guy, and he's presenting, and it's boom boom, sling, and present, boom boom, and he brings up doom doom, throws his fucking rifle, goes to pull and present, and fucking throws a 9mm round through his fucking thigh, out his fucking thigh, into his calf, and thank God it was all on fucking video, because they tried to fucking hamstring me. And I remember, going through the whole thing. I was like, fucking, he presents. I was like, safe and slung. He fucking throws his rifle. I was like, all right, and whatever the fucking thing was. And what happened is he pushed down, and as he pushed down on the holster, it was those shitty ass fucking Black Hawk holsters I think he had. But when he pushed down, he depressed his finger in the trigger well, and when he pulled up at the same time, he launched a round into his thigh and out his calf and whatnot. That was one of the funny times when I was there, and that was in Alaska. and I didn't pack anything, and I did a 6-click fucking ruck mark in board shorts because I didn't pack any fucking clothes because I was stupid. Besides board shorts, and I did a fucking 6-click fucking movement in board shorts and chafed all my fucking legs. It was a good time, and like I said, that's the second mistake I made in my Marine Corps career. Instead of going to First Sergeant, and he was an old Stinger guy. He had a Stinger missile from World War I, from fucking the Gulf War, that he had used to shoot down some fucking Iraqi fucking aircraft in Kuwait, which I thought was pretty badass. And he was our fucking First Sergeant. And instead of going to him and be like, hey, I want to get trained, I want to switch teams, I said, hey, just send me back to the fucking fleet. I ain't got time for this. I'm not gonna sit here and get fucking belittled for fucking 6 hours about fucking Superman fucking Marine over here. I ain't got time for this. Like, I'll just go fucking back and catch a bullet in the fucking chest. I don't give a fuck.
Did you re-enlist throughout this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, so I re-enlisted for MSG, and then it got taken away. So that's what ended up kicking me to MarSoc. So then I was there for that 2-year piece. The other 2-year piece, I go to 2-8, become a platoon sergeant, and that finished off that deployment. Re-upped shortly after that. Went to jump school, went to Ranger school, came back, had a fucking mental breakdown from that deployment, and did the fucking, hey, I'm not okay, and then got fucking shit canned. Got married, and then got stationed out at Bangor, Washington, doing nuclear security with the subs. Afghanistan being in the space that I was at with what I had in my toolbox made Afghanistan, and Afghanistan is a very deadly place. And I've got friends who were on the Kush Mountains, and I was in the Helmand Province, completely two different battle spaces. Guys that were near Pakistan, and guys near fucking China, and guys near where I was at, we all had massively different deployments. We were in a kinetic environment, but what they got involved in up there, completely fucking two different, like alien fucking landscapes in comparison to each other. Afghanistan definitely helped me become a better Marine. Would definitely make me a better leader. And ultimately I got fired for it.